for you. Now you have to reduce the grammar is nothing but you have to simplify your grammar. Right? If your grammar will consist in 4 or 5 productions, at least you have to remove one production also. It leads the reduction of your grammar. So in your formal language and automata theory, how your context-free grammar is going to be reduced is by eliminating the useless symbols, unit productions and null productions. Right? If they ask you to reduce a grammar, or else they will ask you to write an algorithm for reducing the grammar, you have to mention all these things first and write down how the way you're going to eliminating useless symbols and how the way you're going to eliminate the null productions, unit productions, and everything you can write in your own words. Right? So reduction of a grammar is nothing but you have to eliminate the useless symbols, unit productions and null productions. So what do you mean by useless symbols? So useless symbol is nothing but the variable we have in your productions, but that variable is not going to be derived anywhere in your grammar. You have some variables, but those variables are never used in your grammar again to derive something. So such variables are said to be useless symbols in your context-free grammar. Okay, Nama? Context-free grammar loni యూజ్లెస్ సింబల్స్ అని వేటిని అంటారు అని అంటే ఏ వేరియబుల్ అయితే ఒక ప్రొడక్షన్ అనే వాటిని డిరైవ్ చేయదో, రైట్, అంటే మనం ఒక స్ట్రింగ్ని డిరైవ్ చేయాలనుకునేటప్పుడు ఆ వేరియబుల్ యొక్క పాత్ర దాంట్లో ఉండదో అలాంటి వేరియబుల్స్ని మనం యూజ్లెస్ వేరియబుల్స్ అని అంటాం ఆర్ యూజ్లెస్ సింబల్స్ అని అంటాం. సో హౌ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎలిమినేట్ దాట్? వీ హ్యావ్ సమ్ ప్రొసీజర్, రైట్. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు start with your starting production, because we all know whenever we want to derive something, we always start with the start production. So from that start production, right, we are trying to derive something. Means from that start production అవి ఏ వేరియబుల్స్ అయితే డిరైవ్ చేస్తుందో ఆ పర్టికులర్ వేరియబుల్స్ని నెక్స్ట్ స్టేజ్లో మనం ఏం చేస్తూ ఉంటాం, రీప్లేస్ చేస్తూ వస్తాం. అసలు స్టార్ట్ సింబల్ కానీ లేదా స్టార్ట్ సింబల్ నుంచి వచ్చిన వేరియబుల్స్ కానీ ఆ సింబల్ని అసలు డిరైవ్ చేయకపోతే నా వీ క్యాన్ కన్క్లూడ్ దట్ విల్ బి అ యూజ్లెస్ సింబల్. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ అ సింప్లీ లాజిక్. ఓకే, సో నౌ సీ హియర్, దిస్ ఈస్ అ గ్రామర్ గివెన్ ఫర్ యూ. So this is a grammar given for you, like G equals to S comma A comma B comma C comma E. This is nothing but set of variables, and these are set of terminals, small a, small b, small c, and P are the productions is going to be seen here, and S is your start symbol. Okay, S is your start symbol. So then these are the productions given for you, like S tends to AB, A tends to small a, B tends to small b, and B tends to capital C, and E tends to capital C or A. Okay, now by taking this grammar, you have to eliminate the useless symbols. So here you can see the variables are given, like S is there, A is there, B, C, E is all there in your grammar. So now simply what we have to do is, so we can construct an equivalent context-free grammar which will eliminate the useless symbols. You consider that grammar as G dash. You consider that grammar as G dash. So how you are going to take the variables? See here, S is going to derive the variables A, B directly. So I can include the variables S comma A comma B. And then now I have the terminals which can be derived from A and B is AB. So I can take like directly here. And after that, P dash is my new productions in my grammar G dash. So now P dash is going to be included all the productions that is derived by A and B. So now A is going to derive A tends to small a, I can include. B is going to derive two types of productions. See here, B is going to derive two types of productions here. One is B tends to small b and B tends to capital C. Now you can find out that this capital C is not going to derive any of the productions later in your grammar. Ikkada kuda C tends to something and ledu. So if I am taken this production, it is useless. So what I am going to take, I can include only this productions that related to B. So now this G dash is an equivalent grammar for your given grammar after eliminating the productions. What is the eliminated productions? B tends to capital C and E tends to capital C or A. Because why directly I am eliminating this capital E? Because this capital E is not going to derive by S or A or B. Any of these three variables is not going to derive capital E. Because of that reason, I am removing these two productions. Why I removing? See, these are the reasons. C does not derive any terminal string and E and C do not appear any of sentential form. E tends to epsilon is a null product and B tends to C is simply replaces by B by C. So because of these reasons, I am eliminating these productions and this is my reduced grammar for a given equivalent grammar. Okay. And after that, construction of a reduced grammar. So for that, these are the theorems we have. So don't worry about that. Just go through the procedure and the procedure what you understand you given in algorithmic format. Okay. So now see here. So here for reducing grammar we have three things: elimination of useless productions, elimination of null productions and elimination of unit productions. These are the three things we have. Okay, and the three things is having a smaller differences with one to another. Let's అది ఒక్కటే చూసుకోండి, మీకు ఇది ఈజీగానే ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఈ క్వశ్చన్ కూడా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, రెడ్యూసింగ్ గ్రామర్స్ కానీ లేదా అంబిగియస్ గ్రామర్స్ కానీ లేదు అని అంటే సిఎన్ఎఫ్ జిఎన్ఎఫ్ కానీ ఖచ్చితంగా ఇందులో నుంచి వచ్చే క్వశ్చన్స్. మీకు సిఎన్ఎఫ్ వచ్చి 2 యూనిట్స్లో ఉంది కాబట్టి రైట్, ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ యూనిట్లో ఉన్న ఈ పార్ట్స్ అన్ని నేర్చుకుంటే మీరు 3 ఎస్ఐ క్వశ్చన్స్కి డైరెక్ట్గా ఆన్సర్ చేయగలుగుతారు. పుష్ డౌన్ ఆటోమేటా నుంచి 1, కాంటెక్స్ట్ ఫ్రీ గ్రామర్ నుంచి రైట్ 2 క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేయగలుగుతారు. ఓకేనా? సో లిసన్ వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. So now this is a grammar given for you and they will ask you to eliminate to reduce the grammar. So here we can find out that which production is not going to use in your sentential form. You have to eliminate those productions. But we cannot directly eliminate the things. We can use the theorems and depends on the theorems we are going to reduce your grammar. So what your theorems will say? You can start construction of W's. So how you construct a W's for eliminating the useless symbols is, you can take W1. We can start with W1 and this W1 is going to be included, right? It is going to be included the variables, right? Going to be included the variables which is directly deriving the terminals. ఓకే, W1లో ఏ ప్రొడక్షన్స్ని మనం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి అని అంటే ఏ వేరియబుల్స్ అయితే రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్లో డైరెక్ట్గా టర్మినల్ని డిరైవ్ చేస్తున్నాయో యూ కెన్ ఇంక్లూడ్ దోస్ వేరియబుల్స్ ఇన్ W1. దట్ ఈస్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ లెమ్మా 1 విల్ సే, యువర్ థీరమ్ విల్ సే, డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ దట్ ఓన్లీ we are doing this. So now W1 is including A and C because A is directly deriving small a and C is directly deriving small b. Because of this reason, I am including A and C. See here. So this topic I am taken from Mishra. నేను ఇది మిశ్రా టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ నుంచి తీసుకున్నాను ఈ సొల్యూషన్. సో యూ జస్ట్ ఫాలో దిస్ బికాస్ దిస్ ఇస్ అ రిఫర్డ్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్. రైట్, యూ కెన్ ఫాలో దిస్ ఫర్ eliminating the useless symbols. Okay, so now in next step we can consider this A and C and we can include any of the variables which is going to derive this A and C on right hand side. So ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలి అంటే ఏసీ కాంబినేషన్లో ఏదైనా అంటే ఏసీ అనే 2 కాంబినేషన్ ఉండాలమ్మా, సగం సగం కాదు. ఏని డిరైవ్ చేసేదైనా లేదా బిని డిరైవ్ చేసేదైనా అలా చూడకండి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు డిరైవ్ ఎ కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఏసీ, right? Then only you can include, or CA, then only you can include. So now you can find on right hand side. So we have AB is 1, CA is another, BC is another, AB is another. Now you are finding the combination of AC is going to be derived by a variable S. Because of this reason, I am including S. చూడండి S నేను ఎందుకు ఇంక్లూడ్ చేశాను? So A tends to A1 I am including because A1 tends to alpha, with alpha is belongs to sigma union AC. ఎందుకు నేను A1 ఇంక్లూడ్ చేశాను అని అంటే A1 is going to derive some production on its right hand side and that production is going to derive these variables. That is the meaning of this. So then only I can include that variables in my W. So here because of that reason, ఏంట reason S tends to CA అనే ప్రొడక్షన్ ఉంది కాబట్టి నేను W లోకి S ని ఇంక్లూడ్ చేశాను. Okay, and after that now we are going to construct, we are repeated to construction of W's until the previous W and the current W both are same. So now I'm trying to constructing W3. So at this time I'm going to check if any of the variables is going to derive either a combination of AS or single variable S. So I can find out that no other variables is going to derive a single variable on its right hand side S or any combination with A and C. So because of that reason I don't have anything to include in W3. Simply I can take null. Right? Simply I can take null. So now I'm getting W3 equals to W2. I stop construction of variables. Because of W3 equals to W2, I stop construction of variables and I am including my list of variables. So Vn dash is equals to W2 and that will consisting S, A and C. S, A and C. So these are only three variables. So now what are the productions I can take? I can include all the productions that is going to derive by this variables. That is going to derive by this variables. So that I am including S tends to CA and A tends to small a and C tends to small b. Right? And these productions you already taken as a reason for including all these variables. So don't consider this grammar again. You just consider the reasons why you are including and you include those productions into your productions list. So now this is your grammar. So now this is your grammar G1 will consisting the variables SAC and the terminals AB and the productions like this and your start symbol here also S. Right? And after that in step 2, suppose we don't know whether we are left with any other variables. Because of that reason in step 2 what we started is we start from the start symbol. Because your rules is started from the start symbol itself. So we started from the start symbol. So W1 including your start symbol. Okay. And now you are considering the grammar G1 not G. Right? Remember, we are not considering this grammar and we are considering the grammar for this in step 2. So here in step 2 we are going to check if any other things you are going to included. Right? ఇంక ఏదైనా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయగలమా లేదా ఇంకా ఏదైనా రిమూవ్ చేయగలమా అని చెక్ చేయడానికి స్టెప్ 2లో మళ్ళీ మనం సేమ్ స్టెప్ని రిపీట్ చేస్తున్నాము. రివర్స్ ఆర్డర్లో చేస్తాం ఇక్కడ. అయితే ఫర్ దాట్ యూ కన్సిడర్ ఎ గ్రామర్ G1. దీన్ని మనం కన్సిడర్ చేయాలి. So now W1 will consisting of start symbol and after that we are going to include the other variables A and C because your S is going to derive CA. So now in W2 I am going to include S, A and C. So why I am including this? Because A tends to small a and C tends to small b are the productions with, right? So these things. And now C belongs to W2 and W3 equals to, like we can include the terminals, right? We can include the terminals in W2, right? So what is that? A and B terminals. So A is a terminal and B is also a terminal so that you can include this. So now your W2 will consisting of this. And W3 is similar to your W2 because we don't have any other variables. So I stop construction of constructing W's and simply I can give a productions same. So S tends to, right, alpha. Okay, so now the same productions and the same things is coming for your reduced grammar. So we cannot reduce more. ఇంకెంతకన్నా మనం ఆ గ్రామర్ని reduce చేయలేము అని అర్థం దీనికి. Okay, so now in this way you are going to eliminate the useless symbols from a given grammar. Okay, and after that this is another example. You can go with the same procedure, step 1 and step 2, and you can find out this. Okay, and then now we'll see how to eliminate the null productions. So we know why we need null productions in context-free grammar, because some of the variables it is going to derive a null productions, and that null productions is going to vanish your string, because you are recursively generating the string. మనకి స్ట్రింగ్ జనరేట్ చేయమన్నప్పుడు మనం వేరియబుల్ టర్మినేషన్ కాంబినేషన్ యూజ్ చేసి రికర్సివ్గా స్ట్రింగ్ అనేది జనరేట్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉంటాం. అది ఎక్కడో ఒక దగ్గర టర్మినేట్ అవ్వాలి. సో దాట్ టర్మినేషన్ కెన్ బి గివెన్ బై యువర్ null productions. That is the reason why we have a context-free grammar consisting of null productions. So now they will ask you, for reducing the grammar we have to eliminate null productions also. Okay, so for that we have to do that. So we cannot directly remove the null productions, right? We cannot directly remove the null productions. We have to follow the procedure to remove the null productions. Okay, so now what is the procedure? This is similar to your previous thing, like the way how you are going to eliminate your useless symbols. The similar way you are following here also, with the small differences. So there we are including the W1 will consisting the variables which is directly going to derive terminals, and that step is changed here. So for eliminating the null productions, so we can include the variables W1, the variables which directly derive the null. So ఇక్కడ మనం W1 లో ఏం చేయాలి అని అంటే మనం ఎలాంటి వేరియబుల్స్ని ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి అంటే, ఏ వేరియబుల్స్ అయితే నల్ ప్రొడక్షన్స్ని డిరైవ్ చేస్తున్నాయో ఆ వేరియబుల్స్ని మనం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి. ఆ ఒక్కటే చేంజ్, రిమైనింగ్ అంతా ముందు ఎలా ఉందో ఇది కూడా అలాగే ఉంటుంది. There we are considering the variables which directly deriving the terminals, and here we are considering the variables which directly deriving the null. Okay, so see here. Here in W1 I am going to construct in such a way that A1 is belongs to Vn and A1 is deriving null. So A variables ni nenu include chestanu anante, if I want to derive a variable A1, eppudu nenu variable include chestanu if it is directly deriving the null production. So now this is your grammar given for you, right? So this is your grammar given for you. S tends to ASAB and A tends to null and B tends to null and D tends to small b. So you can take this grammar, what type of things it is going to derive. So you can see S tends to, right, if I start with small a and capital S, if I start with this, right, so I can take like S tends to small a, in place of capital A I am going to derive AB. So A is going to derive null and B is also going to derive null, and what type of string it is generated? It simply generates small a, or it simply generates null. Yes or no? If you take this one, it is going to generate a, and if you simply take this one, it is going to generate null. And this is a useless symbol, because this variable I never used anywhere. So this is a useless thing. So you don't bother about useless things here, because that is going to be eliminated obviously, because that is never included in any variable combination, so that you don't worry about that. So now here in W1 I can include A and B directly. Why? Because A is going to derive null and B is also going to derive null. Because of that reason I am including W1 equals to AB here. So same way, what we have to consider for constructing W2 on AB, the combination of AB is going to derive by any other variables. So now the combination of AB is going to derive by S only. So because of that reason in W2 I am going to include S. Why? Because S is going to derive AB. So because of that, I'm going to include W2. And now I'm going to verify on my right hand side if any of other variables is going to derive simply S or a combination of AB. No, I don't have any other variables that is going to derive either AB or S on its right hand side. So because of that reason, W3 becomes to W2. Because of that reason, W3 becomes to W2. So my W is consisting of these things only. So now I'm including the productions. The second step will say what are the productions you are going to include. So now here I cannot, I'm including this D tends to small b into P dash because it is not consisting null. See here you don't worry about that why you are including D tends to B. Because here the concept is eliminating the null productions, not useless symbols. So we concentrate on null productions only. Okay. So now see. So then we are including S tends to AS because it tries to S tends to AS and S tends to A. So because I can replace in place of S, I can replace null here. Because in place of A, right, S is going to be derived AB, right? So AB is null, so that this is going to derive A directly, right? It tries to S tends to A. And then I'm taking this S tends to AB. So which will gives you two type of things. If I vanish this, I'm getting S tends to B. Yes or no? Because you consider null for A one time, for B another time. Then it is going to derive what? S tends to, if I vanish A, you come B. If I vanish B, it's having A. S tends to A. So we cannot arouse both nullable variables. వీటిని మనం delete చేయలేము. ఎందుకు అని అంటే because your S is going to derive AB, right? Yes or no? So what we have to do? We have to eliminate. Means after we converting into a grammar which doesn't having any null productions, you can consider all the productions. It doesn't have a null on its right hand side. అర్థమైందా? సో వన్స్ మనం కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేసేసిన తర్వాత గ్రామర్లో మనకి రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ ఎక్కడ నల్ కనబడకూడదు అంతే. అంతేకాని ఏబీని తీసేయండి అని అర్థం కాదు అక్కడ. ఆన్ రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ వెన్ ఎవర్ వి సీన్ we don't have any production will consisting of a null. That is a thing you are going to remember. Okay. So then, so this is a required grammar. And this is another example. And this question I am taken from previous question paper actually. So at that time, and this question I am taken from previous question paper, and this is very important question for eliminating the null productions. You just go through. So simply see here. I'm including x and y because xy is directly going to derive a null productions. And after that, I'm going to consider if any of the variable is going to derive the combination of x and y. Yes, it is going to derive by capital S. Because of that reason, I'm including S here. And after that, later I'm constructing W3. I need to verify if any of the variable is going to derive XY combination or simply S combination. No other variables is going to derive. So simply my W2 equals to W3, which will consist in three variables like S comma X comma Y. These are things only. So now I'm including all these three, and now you can take each and every variable. See every production S tends to XYZ. So now this is going to, this leads all these type of productions in your elimination of null production of the grammar. See here, because at this time you can take directly this production, and the next time you can vanish this X, you are getting YX. So that is of the production is this. And next time you can vanish this Y, you are getting XX. So that is a production we have like this. And then if you vanish this X, we are getting XY. So that is the production is this. And after that, you can vanish two things. Then you are getting XY is getting vanished. Then you get single X. This we cannot include because it consisting a null production. So you can vanish these two. You are getting X. You can vanish this two. Again, you are getting X. You can vanish these two. You are getting Y. Okay, And then the next production you can take x tends to 0x, because we cannot include this production. X tends to null or y tends to null directly. So at the time of 0x, we can replace null in x. So we are getting this new production. And we can replace null in y, you are getting the another new production. So now you are including these things. So this is a grammar G dash. This is a grammar G dash. Okay, so this is a grammar G dash which doesn't consisting of null. చూడండి ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడైనా రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ మీకు నల్ కనిపిస్తుందా? కనిపించట్లేదు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ a way how you are going to eliminate the null production. So here it is, another example is given for you. You just go through. And then unit productions. So what productions are said to be unit productions in your context-free grammar? So in context-free grammar, a grammar is said to be consisting of unit productions at nothing but on right hand side it is going to derive a single variable. Right? So such type of grammars are said to be unit productions. So here, see here. So this is a grammar which consisting the productions like this. So on right hand side, whenever we have a single variable, such type of grammar is said to be unit productions. Okay, such type of productions are said to be unit productions. So now we have to eliminate this. Right, we have to eliminate this. So for this the procedure is changed. So you just remember, for eliminating useless symbols and for eliminating null productions, the procedure somewhat similar ga anipistundi. So whereas for this eliminating the unit production, the procedure everything is changed. So here we are considering each and every variable. Every variable we are considering. And from that we are going to do the things. See, for every variable we are considering. Right, for deriving the variables. So now we'll go with this explanation. We can start with W naught of S. This will be an initial state. So you can include start symbol. And W1 of S, on right hand side, if any of the thing is going to derive like this S, you can include that. So no, nothing is derived. So nothing I can include. So I can take W1 of S is also S. Because of that, my WS is W1 of S itself. And after that, I can take W naught of A. And on right hand side, if any of the variable is not deriving the things, so I can include like this only. So now you can see, for B, we can include B directly, and for this, we can see on right hand side, the B is going to derive, right? The B is going to derive one variable, the unit production on its right hand side. So because of that, I can include this BC also. And now C is going to derive D. So because of that, I am going to include D also. And after in next step, D is going to derive E. Because of that reason, I am including D also. Okay. And then, okay. So because of that, I am including this one. And after that, so nothing will be there for given this unit production. So I can stop here, and W of B will consisting BC and DE. So for C also we can conclude same. Say C derives D and D derives E. So because of that we are taken like this. And for D it becomes DE. And for E we are just including E. And then E doesn't deriving any unit production. So nothing will be included for this stage. So it is simply E only. So now we can derive the productions here. So now we can include S tends to AB, that is a production given for you. So you can include like this, S tends to AB. And after that, we have other productions like S tends to small a, there is no problem. So you can include directly this production. And here we need to eliminate this B tends to C, C tends to D, D tends to E. Because remember one thing, we cannot once they are asking to eliminate null or unit productions, that mean of that we cannot remove the variables directly which is going to derive null or unit productions. What simply we have to do, we have to vanish that conditions. It doesn't deriving any null productions or it doesn't deriving any unit productions. So how we are going to do, we have to replace the things. See here, we can consider a production like b tends to small b, we can directly include, whereas b tends to small c. So I cannot directly remove. What simply I can do? So in place of c, right, what it is going to derive? So c tends to d and d tends to e, and indirectly this c is going to tends to e, it is going to derive a terminal a. So because of that reason, the c is going to be replaced with small a. And again I have c tends to d production, again a unit production. So because of this c tends to capital D and this D tends to capital E and E tends to small a, and C is indirectly deriving this capital E which consisting small a. Because of that reason, C tends to capital D is going to change with C tends to small a. In the same way, D tends to small a and E tends to small a. So I hope you all understand, right?